Good evening or good afternoon, everybody. This is the Cube 3 live stream for the Indie World Direct, the Nintendo Direct that's coming up very, very shortly today on the 14th of April. I'm joined by the lovely Elizabeth Lily Kirchner-Wilson,
Hi.
the lovely Alexander Sandy Wilson, Kirchner-Wilson, sorry.
Hey.
And the evergreen Welsh accented Luke Hemming.
Hello.
And we've got 3 minutes, guys. So which Smash character do you think is going to get brought into Smash?
Professor Layton.
Professor Layton. What about you, Sandy? No. Obviously, we're not going to see some of these big games. There have been now and again one or two titles that have not necessarily formulated the indie label, let's say, in some of these Indie World Directs. I'm not expecting it, but it could be something. Sandy, do you have any other predictions? Any other indie predictions that you'd like to see?
Indie predictions.
Or anybody while we're here? We've got 2 minutes.
I'm actually not that sure. I'm a little bit behind on the indie scene. I've been too Resident Evil focused recently.
Yeah. Well, this is otherwise known as the Neu Direct from Cube 3 people. Luke, do you happen to have you guys seen anything on other platforms that you would like to get brought over to Switch that would be considered indie?
Maybe just some indie sequels, but as you guys have said, I don't know any new content, but there's been such good indie titles these past couple of months that I'd really like to see some, maybe just some news that there's some new ones coming, but there's plenty that can be ported over and plenty that would work for the Switch, I think.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, and I know we've only got like less than a minute now. I thought Hollow Knight Silk Song's been absent for a bit of a time. I thought it's a bit strange not hearing anything about that. Sports Story as well, which was probably announced quite a while ago now. There's probably a few, but I honestly, I kind of like Sandy, I'm out of the indie scene. Lily, do you want to have the final words just before we kick off here?
I have a feeling there's definitely gonna be a platformer.
Platformer, okay.
There's always one. At least.
with some kind of 8-bit looking art style to it.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting as to whether they're bringing over ports, whether they're bringing new games. I think it's going to be a good mixture of both. We've been told it's going to be a 20-minute stream or just thereabouts. So I can only imagine that it's going to be good stuff. Please feel free to comment in the chat if you do want to talk. Luke is manning the chat right now, so if anyone does want to talk to us live, any Cube 3ers out there, then feel free. I would have thought this was about to kick off. But...
It's about 20 seconds, no?
20 seconds to me.
Just to establish, guys, our feed is about 10 seconds behind the Nintendo one.
Okay, guys, no spoilers then, no shouting out things, but we're going to put our mics on mute. This will be counting down.
Here we go.
I'm not seeing it. You guys seeing? Oh.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Indie World. My name's Ted.
And I'm Elise, and we're here to check out a fresh selection of indie games coming to Nintendo Switch.
There are lots of great games out there, and we're here to help you find your next favorites. So let's get started.
Hey, it's me, Alex. I'm okay. I met this boy, loser, at the diner, at the gas station, in the mountains. They were hitchhiking, driving. They were escaping to the border. Looking for someone called Zoe, John, Jared, Sonia. And running from the police, running from some bad guys. They helped me, played games with me. They stole my money. And they made me realize that I have to come back home. I have to make my own way, to help the brigades. Where am I? Road 13, Road 42, Road 67, Road 96.
Looks fairly curious.
Hey, ici Digital Art, studio indé du sud de la France. On est heureux de vous annoncer que notre nouveau jeu sortira sur Nintendo Switch.
Road 96 est un jeu narratif et procédural inspiré par les road movies des années 90. C'était un super défi de vous raconter une histoire en commençant par n'importe quel morceau et on est très content de la forme que ça a pris.
On a mis tout ce qu'on aime dans les road trips. Des émotions fortes, des surprises à chaque tournant. Ce jeu, c'est des souvenirs de voyage qu'on a créés juste pour vous.
Où on vous emmène, personne ne le sait, car votre chemin vous appartient.
On espère que ce premier aperçu de Road 96 vous plaira.
I'm excited to see where these roads lead in this
Was he hacking a
exciting
DS?
story-driven game from DigixArt. Take on the roles of different teenagers and hit the open road for a path to freedom.
On this perilous trip, you'll meet characters from all walks of life and learn their intertwining stories. Some folks may help you out, others might impede your journey. With thousands of potential paths to take, the decisions you make, both big and small, can drastically alter your experience. What happens if you take the bus? Or call a taxi? In the end, all roads have to lead somewhere. You're not blind.
Well, they just gave that away.
There are many roads. Which one will you take? Road 96 drives onto Nintendo Switch later this year.
Hi, I'm Neil. I go by Aerial Knight Online, and I'm the creator and developer of Aerial Knights Never Yield, a narrative runner that captures the spirit of classic games in the genre, but with a few new features and a lot of style. I created this game in Detroit to make space for myself in the game industry, which previously refused to make space for me, and with the help of some of my amazing friends who created something that represents much more. I'm proud to announce that Aerial Knights Never Yield will be coming to Nintendo Switch, which means you can free run your way to victory to the beat of a dope soundtrack at home or on the go. Please enjoy this look at Aerial Knights Never Yield.
I was hoping for something dope.
Bringing it back in full effect to the next. Running with the best, never missing a step. From the east to the west, I stay fresh, I finesse, I progress with no stress. In and out of city, I get busy, they can't get me, I can't be stopped. I'm on top, 100%, I'm giving it all I got. It's all lock, I'm gon' rock. Let's roll, they know, rain, snow, nothing gonna get in the way, I just go. Just go. Just go.
I gotta say, this definitely isn't your typical runner. A 3D side-scroller with parkour action set in a futuristic Tokyo-style Detroit? Sign me up.
Run, jump, slide, and dash through the city as the protagonist Wally to save what's left of the future. And you'll no doubt be head-bopping to the amazing soundtrack by Detroit artist Daniel Wilkins, with vocals from artists around the world.
Aerial Knights Never Yield slides onto
A demo
Nintendo
available
Switch
straight away.
May 19th. A demo will be available on Nintendo eShop shortly after this presentation.
Annapurna Interactive, publisher of Florence and What Remains of Edith Finch, have a couple more artistic gems headed to Nintendo Switch. Let's take a look.
Jack, everybody thinks you're me. We have to face the facts here. We aren't ever gonna be the same again.
Last Stop is something I've been looking forward to. Seen a little shot of this before.
I bent over backwards trying to keep this family together, but what can I do with this?
This is mental! Dad! You've been playing.
I haven't done anything.
This is the next frontier. Now show 'em what you're made of.
What is it about?
How do you know what to keep? And what to get rid of?
Just another one of those decision-based adventure games. We've got Unalesca in the chat, who is very much looking forward to Road 96, but not sure what else we're expecting today.
To distant memories and dreams that cascade into one
I
another.
mean, both these games look
Before I know it,
interesting.
I'm pulled back to the present. Standing here, alone.
Last Stop arrives on Nintendo Switch July 2021. Hindsight comes to Nintendo Switch later this year.
On behalf of everyone here at Roll7, I'm stoked to announce our next title. Our new game is a vibrant action platformer taking you on a journey across the island of Radland on a quest to meet the legendary skate gods.
I'm excited about this.
Sport and an art form with so much space for creativity.
Told you there'd be a platformer.
Yeah, it's Ollie Ollie, I think.
Skateboarding action platformer. Sounds good.
Ollie Ollie 3?
Yeah, I think it's Ollie Ollie 3.
Finding crazy spots, and of course, skating.
Ollie Ollie World.
The team have put a lot of love into this project, and we're really excited to share it with you. So without further ado, here's a look at Ollie Ollie World.
Yeah.
The latest title in the Ollie Ollie series from Roll7 is just off the rails. Tear up the streets of Radland and search for the mystical skate gods.
Looks very different.
For Nirvana in this slick
Yeah,
action
I'm not
platformer.
sure I like that art style as much as I like Ollie Ollie 2's art style.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've really given it a bit of an overhaul, haven't they? The gameplay is good though. It was always a fun game.
True.
Even a legendary skater would tremble.
It looks like it's much the same to control.
No need to aim for precision all the time, though. Down for a more chilled out experience, explore multiple paths through the game's levels. Along the way, you'll get to meet colorful characters.
Wait, did they make it a skateboarding RPG?
Discover all the hidden secrets of this weird and gorgeous
Yeah, it's
utopia.
different.
Ride through Radland in Ollie Ollie World, launching on Nintendo Switch this winter.
Hallo, ich bin Anselm Püter.
Lily, you don't need the subtitles for this one.
Vor 9 Jahren kam ich beim Wandern an eine Höhle, die mit einer alten Sage verknüpft ist. Ein alter König legte sich angeblich dort zur Ruhe und bat
I just got that.
Ich fand diese Geschichte so faszinierend, dass ich unbedingt ein Videospiel davon machen wollte, wo man 400 Tage lang auf dieses Erwachen warten muss.
I'm pretty sure I know that one.
Dieses Spiel mein Herzensprojekt, weil ich herausfinden wollte, wie
Oh, that guy.
No, not the guy, the story.
Ich hoffe, ihr werdet alle Spaß haben, jetzt The Longing auf der Nintendo Switch zu spielen.
Just so you know, the gameplay is only just appearing on our stream.
I think I'm very behind on mine.
I think I'm in the same spot as Lily here. It's just started the gameplay with me.
400 days. That's a long wait.
Yeah, I think I know what this is based on.
Looks quite simple, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Depends on what the story is like.
Reminds me of the cave that we visited in Germany.
This hand-drawn art style, I've never seen anything like it. And wow, 400 days in real time?
You don't actually have to play this adventure game to see how it ends. But that doesn't mean you should leave this little guy all alone. This is a shade, the last servant of a king who once ruled an underground kingdom. Explore dark caves, complete time-based puzzles, and collect items as you long for him to awaken.
Releasing today.
The longing comes to Nintendo Switch shortly after
The studio is literally called Studio Psy.
What's our next game? Alright then?
No, really. The game is actually called There Is No Game. It's a point-and-click comedy adventure filled with riddles and puzzles.
There is
There's
no
a
game.
broader story here in this non-game as well. Let's not ruin the fun, though. Just know this. If you're looking for something different, something
I know that one.
that's full of surprises, then look no further.
There Is No Game, Wrong Dimension, launches on Nintendo
bet it's pretty funny.
shortly after this presentation.
Hi, this is JF.
Oh, nice.
And I'm Cyril from the Tenue. Today we're very excited to announce
I know that music.
Same.
Shredder's Revenge for Nintendo Switch system.
This is something that's looking rather promising, to be honest.
Direct inspiration from the classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games like Turtles in Time.
I think they might have ruined it. They put 3 other turtles in that aren't Donatello.
We are really happy to have a game coming to Nintendo Switch, as the platform and features that the project perfect.
Wait, you mean there's more than one turtle?
As much as we do. He is imaginative.
Those guys just use Donatello's equipment.
getting in there while the Streets of Rage 4 reviving 2D brawlers is still strong.
Do kids know what turtles are these days? Is there a cartoon of turtles out there these days?
There is, but I don't think they looks anything like this. Like, I think they won't know who the Foot Clan are.
I had no idea.
You
by
don't
the way.
know. You don't know. Oh my word!
What? Who
this is a
any
game,
of the Ninja Turtles are?
This is a game based on a game called Battletoads.
Basically, Battletoads was registered, so they had to pick a different amphibious animal.
I believe
don't
they
think-
rerun the series over and over and over on like Channel 5 or something.
Yeah, I don't think they're very big in Germany. At least I've never been exposed to them.
They should have called it Hero Turtles over here just for a laugh.
Michelangelo can't use his nunchucks. You get no weapon if you pick Michelangelo. Do you really not have the turtles in Germany? This is insane.
We probably have them. We probably have them, but I honestly never saw them on TV or anything.
I mean, I'm flabbergasted that you wouldn't have had this in Germany.
We had Detective Conan. You didn't. I think we win.
Ah, Chris Tales. This game looks quite good.
What stands out about it is the time-traveling aspect of gameplay. You can shift time during combat, which can have a variety of effects, like making enemies younger and thus easier to defeat.
While exploring this handcrafted, dark fairy tale world, you'll recruit a diverse cast of allies and discover new realms, such as the shining kingdom of Crystallis. Can you stop the Empress from destroying the world? Chris Tales lands on Nintendo Switch, July 20th. Showcasing a stylized Japanese aesthetic, Getsu Fumaden delivers a dynamic hack-and-slash roguelite experience.
Another Vanillaware inspired title.
Fierce boss battles and intense skill-based combat.
This looks nice, this. Unpronounceable, but nice. The chat is very excited about turtles as well.
Good.
Getsu Fumaden, Undying Moon,
Getsu
comes to
Fumaden.
Nintendo Switch next year.
Hola, soy Guille de Lienzo, el estudio mexicano detrás de Aztec Forgotten Gods. Hoy estamos súper emocionados de compartir con ustedes por fin nuestro siguiente proyecto. Un juego de acción-aventura inspirado en una de las culturas más hermosas del planeta.
So these guys made Mulaka. Absolutely loved.
En Lienzo, estamos muy orgullosos de poder compartir un poquito de México con jugadores en
Not
todo
sure I've
el
ever played that.
Esperemos que les guste.
Read my review on Cube 3.
Art style looks pretty nice actually.
Traversal looks nice and fluid as well.
Oh, it's Aztec. I thought it was Azteca.
If you're looking for a grand adventure, look no further than Aztec Forgotten Gods. It tells the story of Ashley, a courageous woman who battles colossal deities. The game puts Aztec mythology and futuristic technology front and center.
As Ashley, you'll gain powerful arm upgrades, traverse different areas within a modern Mesoamerican metropolis, and encounter all sorts of characters to uncover ancient secrets. However, sometimes the truth is best left forgotten. Aztec Forgotten Gods soars onto Nintendo Switch.
Look at that hip shake.
안녕하세요. 사우스포 게임즈 대표 박상우입니다. 스컬 더 히어로스 레이어는
Korean
로그에서
game.
가미된 액션 플랫포머 게임입니다. 저희 스튜디오는 대한민국 전남대학교에 있는 게임 개발 동아리에서 탄생하였습니다. 어릴 적부터 액션 플랫포머 게임에 빠져 살았던 꿈 많은 청년들은 대학교 동아리에서 만나 팀을 이루었고 여러 시행착오 끝에 스컬을 완성했습니다. 세상을 구하기 위해 수많은 몬스터와 마음을 무찌르는 용사와 같은 판타지 클리셰도 재밌지만 그 반대는 어떨까요?
Must be feeling pretty good if you started out in university and you finally port your game to something like the Nintendo Switch.
I imagine so.
Ah, music.
I give them a mini round of applause.
Wait, does he throw his skull and then teleport to it? Yeah, this looks alright. It looks like a cool kind of...
The music is nice.
Really good.
looks
Probably the
like
best music
Hollow
I've
Knight.
heard on
Is
the
that thing
stream.
I was looking for?
That's pretty cool.
Looks intense.
Kind of looks like you change powers by putting your skull on different
Skull
things.
the Hero Slayer is a 2D fast-action roguelite where you take on an entire army to rescue your king. And the best part? To progress in the game, you'll need to swap abilities, which is done by swapping heads.
With 90
Yeah, sounds
playable
fun.
characters, I mean heads, each with their own special abilities, plus numerous items and upgrades, there are certainly enough possibilities here to make your head spin.
So get ahead. Literally, in Skull the Hero Slayer, launching on Nintendo Switch, summer 2021.
We're nearing the end of today's showcase. Before we go, there are several more indie games we'd like to show you. Please, take a
Was
look.
that Fez in there? No,
I think you're ahead of me, Sandy.
Yeah, how come Sandy's stream is so much faster than ours?
Hogging all the bandwidth in the UK.
As is there.
I'm in the same house.
Art of Riley's pretty cool. Hard game though.
He loves the music for Skull, but is disappointed we're not seeing many new games at the moment.
I mean, that's true. The optical
Onward
illusion
City looks beautiful.
That looks
game
really
looks pretty
interesting.
interesting.
The maze one
Hmm.
looks good.
Oh wow, is that indie?
House of the Dead 1
That
remake.
doesn't count, does it?
Oh, I think we reviewed that on the PC. I love the art style. Yeah, it was Fez.
Was Fez?
Fez is good.
Available after this presentation as well.
How are you all so far ahead of me?
Indie Adventure on Nintendo Switch? Head on over to Nintendo eShop or our website for our Indie World sale, available shortly after this presentation.
Woo!
Oh, it's
That's all
a good
for today's
strategy.
Indie World
Mm.
Showcase. We hope you're looking forward to these games.
On behalf of everyone at Nintendo, we'd like to thank our talented community of partners and developers for bringing their games to Nintendo Switch. And thank you to all of our amazing fans for tuning in. See you next time.
Hmm.
We spoke too soon. We actually have one more game to show you.
Is this a sequel to something?
Oxenfree? Maybe?
It looks like it, right?
Yeah, it is.
Free
Yeah,
too.
okay, yeah.
Nice.
This is what I was thinking, but I didn't want to say it.
Oh,
I haven't
fuck.
had a chance to play the original yet, but if they're sequelizing it, then it must be good enough for me to pick up.
It's normally pretty cheap on the eShop, to be honest.
Mm.
Oh, was it?
Might be cheap shortly after this presentation.
Be careful, they might sell out if you're not fast enough.
Nintendo would never time releases.
Okay, then, guys. Well, thank you very much for watching. There was a lot to unpack there. Let me just count. Sandy, why don't you say? Oh, or Luke, why don't you say something for a moment? What did you like in the presentation?
Well, Sandy plays his phone. Well, confirmation that Turtles is coming to Switch is something I've been waiting for. I think we all knew that was going to happen, but it's nice to have it in writing. And Last Stop as well. Last Stop, something I've been excited for. What was the last presentation we watched together? I think it was the
Nintendo Direct, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think they mentioned it briefly there. So those two are the things I'm most looking forward to. But that 400 days had a 400 days of real time.
Yes.
That's interesting. Like that might be worth a look, I think.
Yeah, so there were 21 games in total. That one with 400 days wasn't called 400 days, though. It was called something else. I think it was called The Longing. Let me go through this game by game. So Road 96 was the first one that we started off with, a procedurally generated story from Digix Art. That was the one where you just kept on seeing loads of different story-based things. Quite interesting. We had Aerial Knights, which was that free runner, had that sort of Neo-Tokyo cyberpunky type of theme. Last Stop, which is from Annapurna Interactive. It's those three intertwined stories. Luke, you were just mentioning it there. It's coming out in July. And Hindsight as well, which is also coming out later this year. Also from the same studio. Ollie Ollie World from Roll 7. I really enjoyed the first two. I'm having to temper my expectations for this one. I think it looks a bit different, but I will go and do that. The Longing from Adventure Games and Studio Sooths as Lily. You'll be able to say that properly. Whoever that was. German studio. That's out today, so anyone who wants that. There's another game out today as well. There Is No Game, Wrong Dimension. That's a point-and-click adventure. We had Turtles Revenge from Dotemu out this winter. I think that's probably one of the headlines of this. It's not
unless you're from Germany.
Yeah, unless you're from Germany. I am baffled that the Turtles were not in Germany. I think, Lily, you must have just lived under some rock.
We had in the sewer with the Turtles.
Crisis Tales? I don't know what it's called. Time traveling during the combat. That was interesting. We had Getsumifugden, Undying Moon. We also had Aztec Forgotten Gods from the guys at Lienzo in Mexico. That comes out autumn 2021. They're the guys who did Mulaka. We had Skull, the Hero Slayer. That looked very interesting. Had great music from Southpaw Games. And then we had a sizzle of games: Art of Rally, Keyway, Labyrinth City, Weaving Tides, The House of the Dead, which we have to come back onto in a moment. Ender, I think it was Ender Lilies. There was a game in there called Ender Lilies that was very shortly shown. And Beasts of Mareva Island, Fez, and Oxenfree 2 to round up the games. So, Lily, what do you want to say?
Yes, Sunday. That game by the German company, that story should have been very familiar to you.
Is it the same king from the cave?
It's literally where we were in winter 2019.
It was a cool
We
place, to be
visited, and it's the story from that dude. So yeah, we actually know.
You've been.
We've
maybe
been.
maybe he was there when he was researching the game.
I think so. You must have.
Okay, well then, Lily, were there any games in there? I mean, I know Luke's obviously he's all going good for Last Stop and Turtles, but is there anything in there that's really caught your eye?
Not really caught my eye as such, to be honest. But I think I mentioned it before. I'm a very niche player, so anything that's turn-based, I usually give it a go. And anything that's puzzle, not a platformer, but an actual puzzle game, I usually give that a go as well.
Oh.
So I think there was like one maze one that sounded really interesting. Yeah.
And Sandy, was there anything in there that was particular interest to you?
Well, I was very interested in the Skull Hero Slayer. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, Skull the Hero Slayer.
It looks like great fun. It reminds me a lot of Shovel Knight somehow, even though it's a bit faster paced maybe.
Yeah.
Ender Lilies looks pretty interesting, but then I was interested in that game when it kind of did the rounds on other platforms as well. House of the Dead remake? I didn't even know there was one in the works.
I mean, House of the Dead is that Sega? So I'm really confused.
Yeah.
I did allude to that at the start, where we have had games in there before, which I wouldn't necessarily call indie. I think things like Panzer Dragoon remake was shown in Indie World once, and maybe made by an indie studio, but it's just a bit strange to see that put in there. I know Sega obviously had this sort of track record of lending out their franchises to smaller studios to remake them. I mean, we've seen it with Panzer Dragoon, we've seen it with Alex Kidd. There's definitely a few others out there as well. So it seems like the House of the Dead is being remade as well then, which would be very interesting, obviously, without any sort of light gun. But I'm sure we could probably do pointer controls or something, or maybe I don't know how we'd do it. But yeah, there must be some way of doing it.
Yeah. My only problem is it'll never be as accurate as a Wii Remote.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean,
not until you get those controllers fixed for your Switch.
Or you get a sensor bar and you can use the infrared on the bottom of the Switch Joy-Con.
That'd
you
be
just
interesting.
point the bottom of the Switch Joy-Con at your screen.
I think the only other one that really caught my eye was Chris Tales, because I've been kind of half keeping an eye on it throughout its kind of emergence, and everything they sort of say about it makes it sound that little bit more interesting. Looks like a nice art style and stuff as well.
Yeah. I've got to give credit to Nintendo here. They seem to have gone around the world to get studios from France, the UK, South Korea, US, Germany. Seems like they're in Mexico. They've gone everywhere in South Korea. I think maybe a few other places as well. It is really good to see. But I don't know. I'm thinking that the probably discourse from that is that it's going to be quite underwhelming from the people out there. But let us know what you think in the comments section, or even in the live chat. I think Luke, you're still there.
Yep. Ender Lilies is being snapped up by the looks of it.
Oh well, there you go. Okay then, guys. Well, I don't think there's much else to say. So we'll close this one off. We will join you next time. Maybe there will be another showcase to be had before E3, but if not, then we will be back around E3 time, where we'll do a couple of live streams for some of those. We might do post streams as opposed to live streams, I think, for those, because otherwise we'll be online for quite a while. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining me. Lily, do you want to shout out your social? If you want people to follow you on social media, they should go to
Lily Swifty.
Okay, and Luke
at Lem207,
and Sandy
at Squidgy Buffalo.
I'm at Flynn Neal. Guys, thank you very much. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care. That's everything.